Thanks for staying with us. BeeCee, you're going to say something.
Yeah, so this is showing us every day with every issue that we talk about that we need our systems to work, and they must work effectively. If we had proper systems where there are cameras, where we have things that that are needed for this sort of things, we will not have issues where people are trying to run and dodge, because they know that no matter how you run, they will find you in your house. One day they'll just come and pick you back. We have that. Secondly, we need to begin to talk to our people. We need to learn a lot of patience. I always tell people, I say, when the policeman is stopping you, you are dodging. If you drive to the front and you have an accident, you will come down. Somebody bashes your car, you will come down. That time you don't want to waste to engage with a policeman, you will waste it if something happens on the road. So we need a lot of patience as Nigerians. When you are on the road, please calm down. If they stop you, please stop. The only way that you're running is because you're a criminal. And if anything happens while you're running, you will bear it. You bear the responsibility. So we need to start teaching our people. Exactly. We need to start teaching our people that, right? We also need proper training for our police. There are places you do not shoot. You have to weigh the terrain. You have to check, because there was a time we had customs chasing smugglers, and we know that smugglers, they go with guns and everything. And then the customs, this particular incident, the customs were holding themselves back from shooting because it was a busy market that those smugglers were, passing through. And the smugglers escaped. But is it not better that they have escaped than you have killed innocent people? So that proper training is, that's what we're appealing to the governments for. We need to train our police properly. Then, consequences and stricter penalty for those happy trigger police. And I understand that sometimes they are carried away. Sometimes they also have anger issues where they are frustrated. We're stopping, you're not stopping. I have to just do something to show you that I have the power. Please, in their training, they should master how to manage their anger, because this is about protecting lives of the citizen first, and not just about how the person has reacted to you and in your anger. So while we talk to our people as human beings to understand that when a security agency stops you, please stop and respect them and answer them. If you need to beg, if you need to beg. If you need to lie down on the floor, lie down on the floor. If you have to get to somewhere. If they give you your ticketing, please go and pay responsibly. Next time, don't do that. Let's also hold the police responsible for how they carry out their crisis management. Everybody has to work together in this.
Let me take this call. We'll hold it for a while. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Sorry for keeping you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me take my personal experience to you.
I have to speak up.
About a year or two ago, I was taking friends to Ikorodu for an examination. And on that exit, around the weekend, there was a bit. What I said to approach the police officers on that road. They advised me to park at a group. They put myself and the boy who was going to write an exam in their vehicle, and they went through BLTV to draw there. That man is a certified lawyer. He doesn't need any examination. And for the rest of his life, he will have himself to blame. I pity the wife. This is not exonerating the police. Like Nima said, the police officer will have an opportunity in court to defend himself. That child is there. Doesn't have that opportunity. We parents, we road users, we need to be very careful. You don't argue with a man who has
a gun.
Thank you, Shegun.
I want to, because it seems like I've supported the police, I wanted to talk about the training, because Tokwe had mentioned how this is a trend. We all experience it. I do experience it because I drive myself a lot for a very long distance. I don't see too many of it. Our police officers truly need a kind of training. This morning, the police officer that I thought was the most senior because of the ranking I saw on him sat at the bridge on Igomu Bridge. It was the National Theatre. Folded his trouser to knee, had a cigarette in his hand, talking to the Agbero boys. They were smoking.
Jesus.
Just this morning, I kept saying, how can this be the face of our police?
Openly. Now.
As early this morning before, just let's say 10 past 6, because I left home before 6 today. That is one example. Another example is that even if a police officer is doing a stop and search, if you park a car and an approaching, for those ones that stop at Anthony, an approaching truck that will bend and tilt like this to turn that place is coming. and you know you did not park that car well, can you at least tell the driver of the car, move forward to safety, then leave the car there, you walk away, leave the person in the car, go with their papers? They do that. So we know our police officer, we can, in fact, a full day lecture not reach their matter. One night I went for an event, I had my son in the car. I think I left my son at your house, and I came back, I picked him, and I was going home, myself and my driver. He stops, because I know the car papers are okay. I left him to handle the matter with the police officers. I sat in the car with my son. I kept looking at my son because at 10 minutes, the guy has not come back. But my driver, thankfully, as in Sabio, make another talk, another thing, doesn't ever go into the lay-by. If a police officer is stopping you, park well. But that's not his tradition. He had left us in the middle of the road as if it was a 5 seconds conversation. 10 minutes, we were there. At this time, the downfall drivers were backing up left and right. And I was thinking, how do I go and attend to this situation? Because my son
is in the car.
Is in the car. So I stayed with my son, thinking I was doing the best I could in the middle of the road. After about 10 minutes, I come down, I look at back, I see my driver conversing, doing like this. Apparently was saying, settle us now, your paper complete and so what. And he kept saying, madam is at the back. I come down, I said to the police officer, good evening, sir, what's the problem? This is my kindest, nicest language, you know me when I'm provoked. And then he comes, no problem. I said, well, then why are you with my car documents? Is there a problem? At that point, I flared up. I said, come, officer, look at my son. I have an 8-year-old boy in the car. Look at where you parked us. Trucks are backed up. Downfall has reversed. Now, when they kill us, you go do your work. Sorry, madam. He gives me my papers. And I go away. Obviously provoked. So we know that if we do a lecture for the police officers based on every Nigerian experience, we will not live here today. But as a parent in that situation, who was my priority?
Your child.
I have comments. Ehi here says, the caller is right, but from a military perspective, you point your gun in someone's direction, know you can hit a person. That's why you don't shoot at tires where you are not allowed to shoot the person. And then he says the pregnant was also killed by a tire shooter. Then he also says how policing is done everywhere. When the suspect runs, you run after him. You only produce your gun if he's armed. Do our police even know that you can't shoot where there are bystanders?
You know what? While we're talking, our police have some of the best trainings. I mean, I've gone to quite a few seminars that different countries actually come. They send their guys to us to learn. So we do have the ability and we have the training. But see, I was thinking to myself, I said, the mad father that we are talking about exists in every other country in the world. That kind of man. He lives in America, he lives in Canada. Everywhere. The police that was trigger happy lives in Canada, lives in the US. The same behavior could have happened. But you know what they don't have that is different, that is not similar? It's a system. Something systemic such that even the driver, the angry, crazy father knows that, okay, I can be arrested for endangering the life of my child. I'll have points on my driver's license where to be seized for life. They can find me. There's a system so that these people will know where I live. They will find me. Let me just park the car. But because the Nigerian system is such that you know you can evade arrest, nobody is going to check for you. Now, maybe in a city like Abuja, Lagos, and where they are putting the systems in place where you can get text messages, other states are still working up to getting to that point. So you will evade arrest and nothing will happen. Now, the police officer knows also that if I barricade you, I can put this. You don't give them. You're not well equipped with not just technology, but even items to stop, to barricade such that he can't get through it. You don't have those things. So when the system sort of even equip the police, where you can protect their own lives also, they have to fire because that's all they've got. So the point is that the system has actually failed everybody.
And you know, talking about the failure of the system, the failure of the country really from administration to administration with the United States police and all the issues that they have with black people, it brought about them using body cameras. So if there's a problem, let's see how we can resolve it. Please, what have we resolved since
this problem started?
We'll be talking about this problem. The same problem, the same issue, but we have not done anything to improve on it. So what are we really doing? We have complained many times of police officers just being overzealous. What do we have body cameras? We have talked about commuters just driving off anyhow and not doing what they are, stopping at the stop signs, not doing anything. Well, to be honest, we can say that we've seen on transportation side that in some places when you cross the red line, the red light, you may get, you know, you may get an information to say that you've done something.
But that's just Lagos.
Yes, and that's just Lagos, well, maybe Abuja as well. But see, there's so many things that we have not worked, we have not fixed. And it's like that for almost every other sector in our country. The other day, this is a little bit of aside, there was a video of how somebody was doing something in another country and says, look at how they're doing this in another country, removing tiles, you know, without having to break it. That see how they have sort of progressed. Nigerians, where are you? And the thought is, yes, they have progressed because every time they see a problem, they're constantly looking for how to solve it. We just see a problem and say, by God's grace, that's how we do it. And that's how it is forever and ever. Until somebody now travels from the country of wherever we want to, from China or forever, and then we'll be hailing them. Things that we can fix ourselves. So we need to always look at, so sometimes, yes, we have so many problems in Nigeria, we have so many challenges. Let's look at them beyond the problems and challenges and look at them as opportunities to provide solutions so that life will be better for everyone.
Let's take a few more comments and we wrap up on this.
Adebayo says, and when we protest, they bring out their guns again. But this man is wrong. Oh. The only reason I reserve my comment for the man is to wait and hear his side of the story too, for the sake of balance. It is also possible that he has had past experience with the police, but no matter what,
haven't we all?
We've all had that. But no matter what, he was wrong. Don't let us put gender into this thing. It could be man or woman. It's just attitude. Because I was saying, you know, I'd said that he had just caused the mother her child with his stupidity. And I was saying that if Pikin go keep parent, now mama they kill, that's the entire pregnancy, labor, all of that the mother had gone through, and raise a child to almost full ripeness. So it's an anti-clockwise thing. It's something that my head cannot wrap around. Oh, you are almost at the only issue. The boy is writing his WAEC. You know
No, it's his elder brother that's writing the WAEC. He is in SS1. He just escorted.
Oh, goodness, God. So that's the brother that was hitting the car, that was reacting. That one was even saying to the father, attend to the boy. The father did not even know what boy was fighting. Officers,
I wish I didn't see that picture because I couldn't get that thing off my mind.
No, that was the part that killed me.
I was like,
the fact that nobody was attending to him.
It's teaching. Like, you need to see. We lost someone yesterday, a driver yesterday in an accident, and the driver had to go to 3 hospitals. The FRSC, they refused. He was crushed in the car. His leg was crushed. They first thought he was dead. They couldn't pick him out of the car. FRSC came. We don't have tools. The boyfriend, the man died later in the night yesterday, but it was avoidable. There are many avoidable deaths that happen in Nigeria. Tools to extract someone from the car. How do you cut through a car when accident takes place? How many FRSC officials have tools in their car that they can use saw to cut through the car? So before they will take the driver to the first hospital, second hospital, by the time he goes to the hospital, he has lost a lot of blood.
I hung on a tree.
I know.
For my accident, they ripped me open and lifted me in a helicopter to a hospital, for heaven's sake.
Thank God you're not a regular.
I'm a regular
citizen,
African
immigrants. Thank God it didn't happen here. We wouldn't have met you.
Then they finally got to the third hospital where they accepted the driver, and then they did not have blood. Yes, you know, little things that cost people their lives. So if the bullet had hit that boy, and the boy was bleeding, did we check that the boy was alive?
Nobody checked.
Is that consciousness? How do we deal with emergencies? Everybody hold camera. Everybody is shouting.
There were many officials there.
Carrying that boy and saying,
officials
let's get to the thing.
Not to prioritize the boy.
That's what I said earlier. How could you have professionals?
And we still have the story.
In my own small knowledge, just so that we give people information. In that kind of situation, God forbid we're in it. But the very first thing you need to do is find something to tie the wound, put pressure to stop the bleeding.
And then tie
seriously put that pressure and then tie it. Carry the child or whoever it is to the hospital because the person is losing blood. It's not anything that killed that child. It's loss of blood.
These ones that we're arguing is at fault.
On that one,
now
it's everything.
Somebody was shouting "Aloyibo." The other people were shouting. The father was eating car up and down. They were dragging police. This stupid bunch of all of them. Nobody puts that boy in perspective.
All of them,
but you see the one that pains me the most, the person whose child was on the ground too was foolish.
That's the difference between the father and the mother in this case. Because
That's why
the
psyche.
The woman will not they hold the
It's not
pikin.
really a mother
happy.
situation because I know your husband carries the children matter on their head, and
of course,
my husband even does more for children than about children than me. So it's not really
I
about
couldn't even
gender.
explain
It's
it.
about recklessness. And
you also
sometimes
teach us that when somebody is shocked, there's always that fright, flight.
Yes.
A different
Yes, there are different ways to explain what has happened to him.
Somebody
No,
will just
he
say,
was irresponsible
"Maybe in
from the
shock."
beginning.
he's not in shock because he was reacting. He wasn't
No,
shocked.
he was part of his shock.
But I
He was
think
shocked that his child
He
was
was
there
just
are many-
irresponsible from the beginning. That's why we are judging him like this.
But
He
there are
could be
many
shocked.
things that there are many people that are watching this thing now, and they already see the raw materials for this husband material in their own marriage. They are seeing a reckless husband. They are seeing a husband that they always won.
An angry man.
Let's have these conversations.
Let's have
Because
it.
if we're not, I'm not saying we should have it. I'm saying families should open up the conversation. Oga, when I tell you to slow down, see what happened to this boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, be able, or madam, when I say that you get angry, I have seen a woman one-on-one angry and brought the husband's clothes outside, put it outside, pour kerosene, burn
And
it,
burnt it.
brought mortar, smashed the husband's windscreen.
Well,
So we have anger management problems that people don't face, and this can happen.
Yeah.
So
When that fire would have left
this can
somebody else's
happen. You
death.
know, who's watched Why Did I Get Married? There was a scene where they were talking about how they lost their child. Janet Jackson had took their child in a car and had forgotten to strap the child in, and she had got in an accident and the child died. The man seemed like he had forgiven her, but he was holding it against her forever. I was like, I cannot understand it. So sometimes life happens. It does not mean that you have been a terrible person. So we can only discuss in context what we see, you know, but beyond.
That's true.
But
We have to wrap
honestly, safety is important in every
Somebody is
thing you
making
find
a
yourself.
joke of the hanging on the tree that Muriel mentioned. I don't know whether this person has read the
He's going to read my book. I
story.
can't even go back to it. What I was trying to say, I was
a crash.
accident.
She
Yeah.
had an
Accident happened. Fly out the
She was
window.
flung out of the car.
Flung onto a
Scattered.
tree.
Body parts scattered.
Rescued to the hospital. Nobody say she climbed tree, go they do Tarzan wife. I don't understand what's
Go
supposed to
and
be
read, go and read my
funny.
book,
Say that
please. Go and read
Tarzan
my
wife.
book. You get all the
Now
information.
what's he right there and I say she be Tarzan wife.
That is all we can take
doesn't
on
know
today's show.
Kula,
Honestly, I mean, I want to thank the ladies for coming. I mean, this is something that we should lend our voice to, because the truth is that we've been saying it over and over again, and it's not something that we want to keep repeating. We hope our systems can be fixed such that, because whether we know, people will go crazy. I always refer to the insurrection that happened in the US, that it shows that mad people everywhere. But it's a system that cuts you to your size, that put policies in place and put things in place to ensure that you work in a civilized society. That's what we desire, a civilized society where everybody, the led and the leaders, can live harmoniously without this kind of accidents happening. That's all we can take on today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.